A very good afternoon, everybody. I'm Lionel, and it's a pleasure to invite you all to the Dubai Sports Academies online forum. We at Beyond Riyadh believe that sport has the power to transform lives. Do you? This is a great platform from the Dubai Sports Council, bringing together children, parents, and academies, as well as to get our kids to play sport in a safe environment. Dubai has been an important hub in the last few years for the development of sports, organizing sporting events at scale over the last few years. We are just as excited as you all are for the panel discussions, as well as the sports sampling. Without further ado, I'd now like to introduce Mr. Gareth Morty, a former professional footballer and an award-winning senior executive, as well as the CEO of Infinite Sports, who will be giving us an introduction to the event.
Thank you for those words, Lionel. Salam alaikum, good afternoon. Physical literacy is a wide-ranging and a much talked about topic. I'm going to offer some insight into physical literacy in the next few minutes. What is physical literacy? There are many definitions of physical literacy. All of these contain common themes. One, that physical literacy is a lifelong process. Two, that acquisition of fundamental movement skills is a core component. And three, that physical literacy also embraces knowledge, attitudes and motivations that facilitate confident movement. In short, physical literacy can be defined as the motivation, the confidence, physical competence, understanding and knowledge to maintain physical activity at an individually appropriate level throughout life. This means that physical literate people are able to, one, develop the motivation and ability to understand, communicate, apply, and analyze various forms of movement. Two, demonstrate a variety of movements confidently and competently across a wide range of physical activities. And three, make healthy, active choices that are both beneficial to and respect of themselves, others, and the environment. Physical literacy is the development of fundamental movement and sport skills. Physical literacy provides a platform for lifelong participation in a range of sports and physical activities because it instills movement, confidence, as well as competence. In addition, physical literacy is a key component in the long-term development of elite athletes. Every elite athlete starts his or her sporting journey by developing an interest in sport and acquiring movement skills during the foundation stage. Skills are then refined during the talent development stage and finally applied in the elite competition. In summary, physical literacy is the development of a range of basic human movements, fundamental movement skills, and foundational sport skills. These skills give people the tools to engage in health-enhancing physical activities for life. However, it's important to consider a few things when thinking about physical literacy. Number one, what are the consequences of a child missing out on learning a critical fundamental movement like throwing or catching? Number two, how can we keep children from specializing in one sport too early? Number three, how would you define physical literacy if you wrote your own definition? And four, what is the major problem facing a parent who wants to ensure that a child develops physical literacy. This type of forum builds on the fantastic work of the sports industry in Dubai. When I arrived in Dubai in 2005, there were only 5 sports companies, and now, having seen the introduction and the numbers aligned to the sports industry in Dubai, it's grown and grown. We work with over 100 children's sporting academies across our network of schools and venues. The industry is growing and growing, and it has been an amazing journey thus far, but we still have lots to achieve. The role of sports is immeasurable when it comes to health statistics and government budgets, especially if you look at the rates of obesity and type 1 diabetes. Research now more than ever is telling us that a fit and healthy nation is a more productive nation, and that children play a huge role in this, and so do the sports councils, sports companies, academies, teachers and coaches. At the beginning of the recent COVID-19 global pandemic, the UAE and Dubai took decisive action to halt the spread of the virus. The sports industry was hit first, venues and schools closed their doors. We had to take action. I was asked by many of the major sports academies in Dubai to convene a meeting to discuss this situation. Over 20 academies met in the same room, normally competitors, and we will be competitors again. However, there was an industry need to keep calm, create consistencies in messaging, policies and approach, and overall ensure the sports industry, although on hold, would recover and come out stronger. We all made a commitment that the industry needs to survive for the betterment of our children's future and to ensure our children have sporting academies when we restart. On behalf of those 20 academies, I would like to thank the frontline workers in the UAE and mainly the Dubai Sports Council for their continued support, guidance and leadership during the last 3 months. Without doubt the most challenging in my career. However, we know that together we will be stronger, and I'm sure we all have incredible faith in Dubai, and we're also delighted to say now we are open again and look forward to seeing our children and our families now and in the very near future. It has been my absolute pleasure to welcome you all to the Dubai Sports Council online forum, and I would now like to introduce the forum's keynote speaker, the Director of Sports Development from the Dubai Sports Council, Mr. Ali Omar Al-Balushi. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks, Gareth, for your words. And also, I'd like to welcome our speakers, guests, our audience, and who are listening to us through the Zoom. I'd like also to thank Beyond Riyadh Company to fully cooperate with the council to host such a forum, which is really emphasized on the sports side and especially in the academy sport industry. No doubt that the pandemic show a massive role of the governments to cover these things, and aspects of the pandemic was affecting the health industry as well as the economic one, and the welfare and happiness of the community as well, and the sport as one of the main part in the community. Also, no doubt sport was affected by the pandemic itself, and UAE government showed like a role model how to deal with the pandemic in the all aspects, and fortunately now we became like a role model for the rest of the company. Yeah, as a Dubai Sports Council, we work closely with our partner in the public sector or private sector, how to resume or reopening the sport industry. Yes, let you know that also the efforts has been shown from everybody in the sport industry. We'd like to thank them for their effort, for their patience, for their team to come back, but also all of us acknowledge that we have to come in the better way, and we have to be loyalty and commitment for any rules and regulation announced by the governments, even local governments or the federal governments. We were faced a lot of challenges, as Gareth said, but working closely with our partner in both sectors make the things much easier, much better, much confidence for the decision maker. Yeah, the challenge was that our decision has to go through 3 different levels. In Dubai, we have the executive office, then we have the control center of the COVID-19, as well as the higher committee of the crisis. So the things that you have to submit, it has to be kind of very specific, very confidence, very clear for them to take a decision that, yeah, we can come back. Everyone remember that once the government announced that everything will be stopped in the community and in the sport industry, it doesn't mention the days that it can be resumed. So it was open, and the first indicator in the beginning of the pandemic said that you have to think to reopening or resume from September onwards. Yeah, we acknowledge that thing's very hard for the sport industry, especially in the private sector. Because of that, council was very keen to do steps which is really accelerate the reopening and resuming of the sport industry. We have submitted as a council 4 different protocols. This protocol including the stages of the sport, the type of the sport, and the specific criteria of the sport, and how we can assure that we can come back without any issues related to the health and safety. Fortunately, the first protocol has been approved in 24th of May. Then the first stage of the sport since 27th of May. Then later, a week later, we also submit the second protocol, and it was including some different sports and field, and it was also approved by the 3 levels. Then also we add 2 more protocols because we are believe that all type of sports business have to be resumed. We cannot differentiate, but the situations lead us to do a specific criteria for each sport to assure all that we are delivering something which is really showing that we are commitment in the sport industry. Also, I want to announce that last Thursday we had submitted 2 different protocol also covering the other area of the sport industry, and we hopefully will get soon the answer from these 3 government entity, and inshallah we'll go to have green light to do it. Yeah, we are talking now about 12,000 plus. They are the number of the coaches, participant players, and the workers in the sports field. And this number is not small number. It's very important to get sport back. Also because sport affects the welfare, the health also of the community. So together, let us work to resume the sports as quick as we can and cover all field of the sport industry soon, inshallah. And we are optimistic about the things that will go happen in the coming future. The numbers, indicators that has been showing last week or last 5 days was so positive one. And inshallah, all together with you as the private sector, with the public sector, with the other government entity, with the local entity, we can inshallah be back with the full capacity soon, inshallah. We'd like also to thank all of you for your highly commitment during the pandemic and during the stopping of the sport industry. And because we know you are playing massive role in the community and affecting positively in the community, we work closely with you and with the public sector to deliver something which is really confidence for the government itself. And alhamdulillah, finally all of us get the answer that we are looking for. No doubt, inshallah, also other area of the sport industry will be covered within a couple of days. Hopefully, inshallah, with the good indicators has been shown past 5-6 days, things will go much better. I wish you all the best, and we wish also by the end of this forum that we will gain the targeted, the aims that we put, and the outcomes that we are looking for this forum. I'd like again to thanks Riyadh, thanks Gareth again Thanks all of our speakers who will be with us today. Thanks for our audience who hearing us from distance, and wish you stay safe and healthy, and wish all the best for the sport industry. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ali, for enlightening us with the news as well as regulations on returning of sports in Dubai. Also, keeping in mind that we all are responsible. To all our attendees, before we move on, you will find a download flyer option below your main screen, where you will find procedures for all returning sports activities in Dubai. We also do have a Q&A feature on the right-hand side of your screen to ask any questions for our panelists. Let's get straight into it, and I'd now like to introduce the moderator for the panel discussions, an entrepreneur and radio host himself, Chris Fade. Chris, over to you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good morning for some, no matter where you're watching us. Welcome to what we're doing here today. This is beautiful. My name is Chris Fade, Kiefko and Salam Alaikum, and it's a pleasure to be here as we do it from, well, at home right now. The coronavirus, who would have thought we'd be here today doing what we're doing mid-2020, but we have, and we've adapted very well here in the UAE. It's not an easy thing to get by, but we're doing it every single day. As a father of two girls, one of the hardest things for me is taking them out of their sports. They do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, they go running, we do outdoor workouts, they play tennis, and all of this had to come to a stop instantly. And as they're being confined into their own houses where we live right now, how do we get them back out? How do we get them active again? How do we get the confidence back into the market? We have all different people from all different sectors, from the Dubai Sports Council to individual gyms to swimming academy, gymnastics, tennis, you name it. We're all here right now and we're working together to try to simplify this and get that forward momentum, which is what we need. So firstly, thank you so much for joining us. There are prizes here today. We'll be doing different little quizzes, so make sure you hang out with us. You can ask questions and we'll get those underway as soon as we possibly can. The Dubai Sports Academy agenda, this is what we're doing right now. And once again, thank you for joining us. Our first panel discussion. We're going to break it down into 3 to 4 panel discussions. And remember, we want your input. This is as much as it is us talking, as it is the UAE talking and Dubai talking. So thank you to everyone for joining us here this afternoon. And let's get this underway. Reimagining sport in the current conditions is what our first topic is all about. Reimagining sport in today's current climate. Something that we would have never thought about, but for the first time we have to. To talk more about it, we're going to be looking at the new rules and regulations and how likely you are to send your kids as well. There is a poll happening right now, which I want you to please answer. You can see it on your screens. I can see it on my other screen. All right, with the new rules and regulations, how likely are you to send your child out to play? Please answer. Not sure, not yet, likely to, or most likely. How do you feel as a parent? How do you feel? Are you ready to send your kids out? We want to know. We need to know as we get things underway. Please welcome Manager of Sports Academy Section. Yes, for the Dubai Sports Council, Mr. Ahmed Mohammed Al-Mahri. It's a pleasure to have you on with us. And also from Dubai Sports Council, Manager of the Women's Sports Development Section, okay, Fawzia Mohammed Fardoon. Thank you so much for joining us, both of you, as we get this topic of discussions underway. We know that we're all very busy at this time, but this is something that we need to get by and we really need to get handling. All right, Ahmed, restructuring sports and the importance of following rules and regulations. This is not going to work unless we all come together and we do it under sort of one roof. So I'd like to thank you both for joining us. Fawzia, I can see that you're there as well. Firstly, thank you so much for taking the time. We appreciate it. Let's talk women in sports right now. It's so important. As much as we focus on men, the women, they're our leaders as well. How important is this to get them back out there playing sports?
Thank you, Chris. Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon, everyone. It's my pleasure to be with you here today. Sport is for everyone, men and women. In this region, it started to become popular among girls past a few years. Sports make the girls feel good about themselves. It's good for the body, and of course, it keep us healthy. Women in sports is one of the main strategic plan in Dubai Sports Council that being followed by His Highness Sheikh Mansour bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the chairman of Dubai Sports Council, and unlimited support by Her Highness Sheikh Ahmed bin Maktoum bin Jum'a Al Maktoum. We ensure that our program covered different age group of the women. We have a special program for each group, such as for the girls, we have Dubai School tournaments for the girls, which aims to select and discover sports talent in girls to be enrolled in Dubai Sports Club. Also, we arrange a lot of activities for the girls, such as Dubai School Summer Camp and Dubai Happiness Platform. Also, we have different activities for the women, for the employees, such as Sheikh Mohammed Women's Sports Tournament and the Dubai Women's Triathlon.
Okay, well, thank you for that. Now, as a female yourself, I've got two daughters, and I think it's so important to get them in at such a young age. It is important to get these girls in at a young age. I think sometimes as parents, some focus on the boys. Let's get them into football. Let's get them into tennis. But from a woman's perspective, it's so important. I know that I've got my daughters into sports. It's very important, right?
Yes, that's why we ensure that we have different kind of activities for age or different age group, and we are focusing in the girls in this age group that we have, as I mentioned before, we have Dubai School Girls Tournaments. It's a start since 2014, and it happens annually. And we targeted age school girls. And the main objective of this tournament is to select and discover sports talent in girls to be enrolled in Dubai Sports Clubs.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I appreciate your words as well. We are seeing if Mr. Ahmed, if he's online as well. We would like to ask him a few questions. We're just on standby to see if he will be up and running. But once again, that is the manager of Women's Sports Development Section for the Dubai Sports Council. Fawzia, thank you so much. We really appreciate your time and your words as well.
Thank you very much, Chris.
Again, guys, you saw that poll that was situated on your screen. If you are watching this, we do ask you to take that vote. How likely are you to get your kids back into sports? It is something that we all really need to know, and we need to make sure that we facilitate right now, because I guess it's on the confidence of us as parents to see if we're ready. Am I ready? A lot of people have asked me. I am ready. As long as it's in a controlled environment, I know that everything's underway. And as we've been mentioning how amazing the UAE and how Dubai has handled this situation, they've been considered one of the best countries and one of the best cities in the world to handle the situation of this pandemic. So as we've done with most, we've brought things back, but the restrictions are now sort of lightening as they possibly have. And we look forward to things opening up. Swimming pools have just opened up over the last few days as well. So more and more will be occurring. continue with what we're here to do, and that's basically to unite everyone together to get the movements. Gyms have opened up. A lot of the adults have now made their way into gyms, which is fantastic. But really, it's all about us getting together right now and pushing it forward. Please welcome our panel discussion number 2. Coaches as role models to athletes. Coaches play such an important role. I know growing up as a child, I still remember my early coaches who got me into playing tennis and basketball and getting into my healthy lifestyle that I live today. Coaches, you play such a great role. You know that as well, which is fantastic. Now, here is poll number 2. You'll see it pop up on your screen. Can coaches' impact on an athlete exceed beyond the sport? That's one thing that we're looking at right now. You'll see it pop up. Now, what? Thank you. Again, building a winning athlete. Give me your words.
But I think luckily one of the things that sport does is also helps you build a certain resilience when things go wrong. So adaptability is one thing that sport does. So no worries with technical issues. I believe I was going to talk about the one trait that is common through building a champion or a winning athlete is actually attitude. Now an athlete can be in the best club, best facilities, best coach. But if they make the wrong choices themselves, they're ultimately not going to be able to reach their full potential. And having great attitude means automatically each of the athletes are going to be more coachable, they're going to listen, they're not going to make excuses when things get hard. But more importantly, they're going to be doing all of these things because they want to, not because they're told to, not because their parents want to, but it's coming from somewhere which is inside. And luckily enough, I was lucky to have attended 2 Olympics. I know you've worked with Vladimir on one of your videos. It's a very good video. And what I can tell you with certainty is that no 2 champion stories are the same. But what I can also say that in every single champion's story, they've got one thing in common, which is belief. And ultimately, it's belief that underpins a good attitude. So just as a little tip for all of the budding athletes out there, I think one of the easiest ways to build belief and confidence in yourself is actually to work backwards from whatever your ultimate goal is. Most importantly, make a plan and break that plan down into small sections so that your mindset shifts from it's impossible to achieve your goal, because some of these goals are really big. Winning a World Cup, winning an Olympic medal, it's a really huge goal. To change that mindset to it's impossible to achieve your goal, to make sure that it's impossible, that you cannot miss that target. And once that plan is in place, you need to find people who are going to take that journey with you, people who also believe in you. And for me, as a simple plan, as a summary, that to me is the biggest thing that an athlete can do.
Chris, appreciate it, mate. Great words. Great, as we said, Hamilton Aquatics, been here for so many years and have really brought and taught so many children and adults as well. So thanks for what you do and thanks for joining us here today, Chris. Great words. Saif, Kifak, man, how are you? Thank you for joining us as well. This is great. The Barcelona Football Club Academy, that word alone, Barcelona is huge. How important is it teaching a child, teaching a male, a girl or a boy on that field, and the technical side of it as well to bring out a champion?
Good afternoon, Chris. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for the Dubai Sports Council for organizing this and for having us today. I'll speak about the football part and the sports in general. I think the coaches have a great role in influencing kids. They don't only lead during the training session, but they inspire the kids to learn and to develop and to give them this extra little push when they feel like giving up. And it's not only during training session or on court or on field. It extends to the level of outside of the training sessions as well. In our sector, we have a lot of parents sometimes who come and ask us if we can let the coach speak to their coach, to their kids about their academic performance or their school performance. So it shows the relation and the bond that the kids have. Being an ex-professional footballer as well, back in my home country, I still till now remember the coaches who really influenced me in whether in my sports career or in life in general, social skills. until now we are still in touch and we are still communicating. I still go back sometimes and ask for their advices. So we think that coaches really have a great responsibility, actually moral responsibility, to always try and show the positive attitude and to be a positive role model for the kids.
Very, very well said, Saif. Thank you so much for that. I totally 100% agree. I look at coaches as being not only teachers, but also mentors as well. I think it's very important. And it seems that children a lot of the time do trust their coach. Not that they don't trust their own parents' advice or their own brothers, but when it comes to their coach, there is something about it which is so important. Appreciate it. The Barcelona Football Club, again, appreciate your time. I'm going to cross to Issam right now from Jam Academy. Issam, thank you for joining us here today. What does it take to be a great coach to kids? What a question. How do you answer that one, Issam?
Hello, Chris. First of all, thank you for having us here, and thank you to Dubai Sports Council and the Beyond Riyadh for this opportunity. So I'm going to speak very briefly about the main core of what we do at Jam Sports Academy. So we focus mainly on the youth basketball, and basically we look at ages between 4 and 18 years old. And I think that's a very important age group because, as you said, a coach's job should not necessarily stop on the court only, but actually off the court. And I'm very, very proud to say that I'm very happy usually when parents come to us and say, my son started doing better at school because he's more focused now on sports. And the fact that a kid has something like basketball or any other sports to focus on is a blessing. And I think a coach has much more power in their hand than just coaching on the court, because kids pay a lot of attention to the smallest details that they can see in their coach. So especially if a coach is coaching from the sidelines during a game and a coach gets frustrated, then that's also going to reflect on the players' personalities. So I think what a coach does reflects immediately and directly to players and their personalities. So I think, and especially at Jam, what we do is we give our kids the opportunity to travel abroad and participate in international tournaments and leagues and camps. So when we've traveled before to the US or Italy or Spain for any of the camps or tournaments that we've participated in before, I think this has given great exposure and a great experience to the kids for them to expect and see what they have internationally on that level, and come back and work and improve themselves locally, and give them another reason to actually excel at sports as well as their education. So I think a coach's role is much more important than just staying on the court. It actually extends to off the court.
Agreed, mate. Thank you. That's Issam from Jam Academy. Keep balling, mate. Well done. We appreciate your time. We move on to Lisa from Ultimate Athletics, a name that I've heard so many times here in the UAE. You guys do also a fantastic job. Tell us, what are your thoughts on this whole discussion that we're talking? How important is that role of a coach?
Hi, Chris. Hi, everyone. For me personally, coaching it's something that you cannot take lightly at all. You have that child under your influence for an hour, and how you treat them and what you say and what you do has an effect basically on them for the rest of the day and potentially for the rest of their life. So you've got to be really, really careful. You've got to ensure that you're not too pushy, that the child is happy in the session, they're motivated, they're enjoying the session first of all and foremost, and that they want to come back. They're also not being forced to be there. You do find there's a lot of pushy parents and the child will come reluctantly. It's your job as a coach to make sure that they have the best time that they can in that hour and that they want to come back. We're creating lifetime habits. It's not just, to find the next Olympians. We want these kids to find a hobby that they love to do and that they're going to continue for the rest of their life so that they have a healthy and active lifestyle. So I think it's really important to encourage but not be pushy, to also make sure that they have a balance of activities. Obviously, our field is track and field and athletics, but we also get a lot of kids from rugby. They want to be fast for rugby, they want to be fast for football. they do triathlons, they swim, they cycle. So it's not just about you and your sport, it's about how you can have that impact on the child as a whole for all of their sports.
Appreciate it. Great words. I totally agree. I think, especially with my kids as well, I put them into certain sports mainly for routine and structure. I think it's so important as they grow up at such a young age just to understand what a routine is, having structure in their life, a little bit of discipline as well. And discipline not coming from the parents, I think is important for them to understand what it is outside their household. So I think what you guys all do, we want to say thank you so much. Again, Chris from Hamilton Aquatics, Safe from the Barcelona Football Academy, Isam from Jam Academy, and Lisa from Ultimate Athletics. We appreciate your time, guys, and appreciate you taking that moment with your words. Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Well, hello. Yes, it's Chris Fade here, and I'm with the owners, really, of Fade Fit and Fade Fit Kids, our company. Hi.
So I'm Lucy, and I'm the general manager of Fade Fit Kids. And I'm Kiki, and I'm the financial controller.
And why did we create such a brand of healthy snacks? Tell us why we did this.
So we wanted to make snacks that were healthy and more affordable.
And that's exactly what we did. We've created a range of healthy snacks for all ages. They're sugar-free, preservative-free, they are natural, and a lot of them are peanut-free, so they're safe for kids of all ages. Now, where do we sell these? How can you get them?
We get them at Zoom, Carrefour, Spinneys, and Kids.
And many more places, including fadefit.com. We've even got the multivitamins. Why should we take vitamins right now, especially?
Well, because you want to keep yourself healthy.
100%. Boost your immune system. This has everything that you possibly need. As a father of 2 girls, I wanted to make sure that I created a brand that was affordable and also tasty for everybody. Everyone deserves health. And like myself, I keep fit every single day, and so do my daughters. I mean, what do you guys love doing?
Like jiu-jitsu, gymnastics,
Swimming, running, even just playing around with our dogs. It's so important to stay active, especially through times like this. So from myself, Nushi and Kiki, and the entire Fade Fit family, thanks so much. Stay healthy, stay Fade Fit.
We move on. We move on right now. Again, you may have kids, you may be watching this, you may be a child yourself, you may be an academy. I know there are a lot of academies that are watching this from across the UAE. We want to say thank you so much, and our thoughts are with you guys over these last, 4 months of COVID. Your businesses are slowed down and things have just watching. You'll see the questions pop up on your screen. Answer them. You will not have too much time to answer them. We have got some great prizes to give you as well. So I think we're going to wait for this to pop up on the screen, and then I'll get things underway. Once again, the Dubai Sports Academy's online forum. That's what we're here doing right now. We do have another panel discussion coming up within moments with some great guests as well. So please hang out for that. And we're going to do a little bit of stretching as well. So it's all fantastic. All right, let's get these questions underway. Once you know the answers, get on them ASAP. Good luck. Question number 1, in professional basketball, how high is the basketball hoop from the ground? Oh, I know this one. Is it A, 10 feet, B, 11 feet, or C, 12 feet? I'm playing along with you guys. I'm answering this. I'm going to get 100%. Anyone watch that Michael Jordan documentary? Unbelievable. That is question number 1. Put your answers in. Question number 2. During the first ever modern Olympics, what were the first places awarded with? What did you get if you won? Was it gold medals, silver medals, or bronze medals? No Googling at home. I know you can Google. No Googling. I'll be watching you. Having a look at our answers, 52% of it said 10 feet for question number 1, which was right. This Olympic one I've answered, I'm not sure, but I'll take that and let's see what we go with. So again, we're getting our results pop up on your screen. Only 52% of you got that 10-foot ring right. We'll find out what our question number 2 answers are shortly. We'll move on to question number 3. Sagala is another way of saying seagull, a traditional Emirati game or a sports gala held annually. Sagala. That's going to get me as well. Gold medal, 57%. 52, yeah, there we go. I'm looking at these results. Please answer, Sagala, what is it? Seagull, Emirati game, or a sports gala held annually? I don't know this one. I'll put my answer in though. Question 4, in cricket, what does LBW stand for? I know. Australia having the best cricketing country, right? I'm just saying that to get our Indian teams, our Pakistan. I know, I understand. What's LBW stand for? Is it line before watching, leg before wicket, or is it LOL, about to win? We'll get that cricket one up there. That's an easy one for me. Question number 5. What is the only country to have played in every single soccer World Cup? America, Australia, or Brazil? I think I know that one as well. Again, answer these as they go on. We've got a great prize underway as well. Beyond Irada, thank you guys for putting this on. You guys have done an amazing job technically. I know this is not something easy to put together, and you have done this remarkably well. I've answered the Football World Cup. And finally, this basketball move was banned from the years 1967 to 76. What is it? The layup, the slam dunk, or the three-pointer? I'm grateful that they brought it back because it's one of the most exciting aspects of the game of basketball. I'm waiting to see. I'm going to answer that one as well. 91% of you answered Brazil, by the way, which was good to see. All right. Your answers should all be in. Then that is your little quiz. We'll get the results, and if you are the winner, you will be contacted for your fantastic prize. Once again, Dubai Sports Academies, the Dubai Sports Academies online forum. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Chris Fade. Pleasure to be here once again with you guys as we do it across the UAE, and a lot of you watching from across the world. We've got thousands watching right now from different academies, be it tennis, swimming, the Pirates Sports Club who work with on the beach. It's fantastic to have you guys involved as well. Basketball, tennis, MMA, jiu-jitsu. We want to say thank you so much for joining us here. All right, we're going to move on to the panel discussions at number 3. We talk of why kids love sport and how sports have helped them. And who do we talk to here? Of course, we're going to talk to some of the kids. That's what we have to do. Some of our athletes. We're also going to have some of our professionals on with us right now. So without further ado, you'll see a poll question come up on your screen as we introduce our athletes. It is important to partake in sports from a young age, even if it's just for fun, fitness, and friends. That is the question that we'll be bringing up. Please answer that as well. I think it's very, very important. We have athletes. We also have people from the different clubs from across the UAE joining us on our next discussion. I will be answering yes for that panel poll there. Please welcome Hessa Ismail Al-Balushi, the athlete representing the UAE in volleyball. Fantastic. Nikita, a student athlete, unbeaten UAE and under-17 sprinter. Remind me to never give you a race, Nikita. Alina Siddiqui, Paralympic winner, gold medalist, artistic gymnastics. Fantastic. And Special Olympics World Games in Abu Dhabi. Pleasure to have you on. And Maitham Hussain, the UAE Tennis Federation. Also great to have you 4 on. Thank you for taking the time. You're all amazing in what you do. You're all champions in what you do. So firstly, we want to congratulate you on everything that you have achieved. Hessa, how does sport help? Tell me how we get this done. You're a champion. How has sport helped you throughout your life?
Hi everyone. Thank you, Dubai Sports Council, to have us here today. Actually, it's helped me very good. Like, it helped me like to shape my mind. It helped me like to be more mature. To be like a person, like the person that I'm here today, to be a great mom, a hard worker. I work at Dubai Police, so it really helped me like from the physical way and the mature way, to be a great role model for all the girls outside, to encourage them to go to have like a hobby or a career or anything, so that they can achieve a lot of greatness in their lives.
It's amazing. You just said that you work with police. You work as a police. Like, I mean, this is remarkable. Well, can I just ask, what age did you start playing sport? You obviously represented the UAE in volleyball, but for you, what age were you when you started to really get into sports?
I started when I was 11 years old and 23.
That's fantastic. And obviously, different cultures, different religions. It's all different. How important do you think it is also being here as a local Emirati, and also no matter where you're from, if it's Lebanon, if it's Syria, Saudi, Australia, England, how important is sport at such a young age to get in, especially for a female?
They always say that females they can achieve anything in their lives. When I was like younger, but as a person, I was really challenging all the persons who were like, you cannot do this, you cannot do that. So I started very young when I was 7th grade. I attended the first national team in 2010. So until that, we achieved almost like 7 championships from that time. Yeah. So I'm really like against who says like a female cannot do this, cannot do that, or even like they bring religion to it. Nothing is impossible actually. There's nothing impossible. Everything can do anything they want.
So well said, and I 100% agree with you. As I said, I've got 2 daughters, 10 and 8, and I think it's so important to put them into sports as they do, and to see a woman of yourself, what you've achieved. This is exactly what I want my daughters to see. I want them to see this success.
Baby, so that's why I'm really excited for her to grow up and to see in which direction she will go. Also, her father, he's a basketball player, so we will see in which direction she's going towards volleyball or basketball.
Amazing. Thank you for your time. Thank you so much. We move on with Nikita, a student athlete, unbeaten. Under 17s, man, you were unbeaten. No one's beaten you. No one's come close.
Obviously, I had like my competitors, but they're actually also one of my closest friends. So yeah.
Very cool. Come a little bit closer. The audio's a little bit low when we're hearing you, so just come a little bit closer so we can hear you and just talk up for me. So, I mean, how important are you enjoy what you do? For people who aren't playing sports, what do you tell them? Why do you want to play sports? What is it about this winning feeling and doing what you do?
I think the thing with sports, like for me, it helps me a lot mentally. It helps me with my confidence, and because I was always deemed as the underdog. So when I started competing and I actually started like improving my performance and breaking records and competing internationally, that really helped my confidence. It also taught me how to persevere when things are really hard, especially like in school when I'm trying to balance my schoolwork, my social life and running. It can get really hard, but at the same time, it teaches me how to like manage my time and make sure that I balance everything together.
Yeah, so it's you're learning from being on track, but then also you're taking what you're learning into your personal life, be it at school or whatever it is that you're doing.
Yeah. Sport itself also helps me make like a lot of good friendships. And when you have people doing the same thing as you, it really helps you, it motivates you. So yeah.
Well done! Congratulations. You're gonna stay. What's the aim here? Are you trying to make a national team? Are you going to continue running?
Yes, I am going to continue running. I'm going to university next year to Amsterdam. So I'm going to continue running over there, but I'm also going to try and see if I can run in India. Last summer, I went to try out for the national competition. I didn't get through, but then I will keep trying to go again next year.
Good on you. Good on you. And that's what it's about. Always trying to achieve your goals, be it on track, at work, or at home. Well done, Nikita. We appreciate your time. Our next guest, I've had the opportunity of chatting to Alina many times. An absolute star, so motivational, so pure, so fantastic in everything that she has achieved. A Para-Olympic winner. Listen to this. Gold medalist, artistic gymnastics, Special Olympics, World Games, Abu Dhabi. Alina, it's so good to talk to you again. So good to see you.
Hi.
How are you? How are things?
Good.
So can I ask, how is it for you being a winner? That feeling, many people have never experienced winning. How is that feeling? How do you explain to someone that feeling of winning?
Let me read it.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, read it. That's cool. But yeah, that time you've won a gold medal. So that feeling of winning, how is it? Is it a good feeling?
Yeah.
And so you've won a gold medal as well. You've had a gold medal.
Yeah.
I think you're holding. There it is. Wow, that is remarkable. See, that's what it is. There's not many people in the world that would ever be able to have their own gold medal hanging around their neck. And no matter how old you are or where you're from, everybody's given an opportunity to try. And Alina, you have tried. Do you love that gold medal, Alina? Is that close to you? Do you always have that around? Maybe in your bedroom, or is it always around? I'm guessing you do.
Yeah, in a frame.
In a frame. It's exactly where I would have it. I'd have it on a frame. I'd probably sleep next to that gold medal every single night, to tell you. Alina, again, thank you so much for being with us here this afternoon. We will move on to Maitham, who is the UAE Tennis Federation. Firstly, Maitham, thank you so much for hanging out and taking the time. I have recently started playing tennis again. I'm absolutely loving it. As a child, I played it, and I stopped playing for nearly 20 years. I've now been going here to Hupdor City, and I've been playing 2 to 3 times a week. And that feeling of just being outside again and just going through my strokes is fantastic. How tennis, it's growing, and it continues to grow here in the country, right?
Yes. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Regarding tennis, the very good things about tennis, you can play tennis from 4 years, 5 years till 80 or even 90 if you can hold rackets and you can play. In the UAE Tennis Federation, we are concerning too much about the age from under 10, from 4 to 10 or from 5 to 10, because we have a main goal is called more player, better tennis. When you have, and we have better player also, because when you have very big base for the player in this age group, it will develop the game in the country. You have more choice to collect the better player in this. The playing tennis in under 10 is very fantastic. It's very nice. It's not a competition. It's like a player playing for fun. That's why ITF call this a program a play and stay. They don't concentrate about how to serve, how to win the point. They concentrate how to play and how to improve your feeling with the tennis racket and with the court. They play with the red court, after that orange court and the green court. In UAE Tennis Federation, we have something also according to the ITF program, and we signed with them the Junior Tennis Initiative last year. We are making the criterion. It's a team competition also. The player playing single and double. We increase the communication between the player themselves and the same team. This tournament, when we make it, there's a lot of fun. There are many parents coming, and the communication between the player and with each other, it will be developed and increasing the exciting of the game. After this, when the player reaching the 10 years, after 10 years, there's another program. It's called the development and the junior program. After that, the adults. The player, when they start under 10, is very important in tennis, because you will learn the basic in the under 10. After 10, you are going to the ranking circuit. You have a point, you have a ranking. You can even eligible to go with the Ball Kids program, that you will be in touch with the pro player, with the pro tennis, like in Dubai Open, Badala Championship, Al Habtour tournament. This is very good for the player. It's to join this program, because when you be in touch with the high level, you will see how the player is training, how the player coming into the court, how you are doing the ball kids job, because this will help you in the future when you become a pro player to join to understand what is the game.
100%.
Yes, we invite all the players to join our this program by joining the UAE website. They can join this program, and for the criterium or the junior tennis championship, this is only for the Flexed Academy. It's a team competition. We are doing this with every exhibition and happened in here in UAE. It's like an open day for the kids and for the parents, for the coach. Sometimes we are making like workshop to develop everyone. For everyone who want to join this, we appreciate to go to uatennis.ae and sign in for this program and be a part of the tennis family in UAE.
UAEtennis.ae, Matham, thank you so much. And you hit the nail on the head. I took tennis lessons from, I think I was about 7 or 8 years old, and I took those lessons for 3 years. Here I am at my age right now, and what I learned back then, I still remember today. It's like riding a bike. I hadn't picked up a racket in nearly 15 years, and as soon as I had one hit, it was all still there. So the importance of learning at such a young age, I think, is highly important. Again, thank you to Hessa, thank you, Nikita, Alina, Matham, we appreciate your time and well done. Take care and thank you for joining us. We'll move on, a little quick stretch from where we are right now by Sash. Sash is around, I think.
Here. So that's most of your traps, your trapezius muscles, and that's really gonna nicely stretch them out and flex them as well. So I can see that you're enjoying that. We will move on to the next one where you're just gonna flex your shoulders. You're gonna lean back like this, open up, hold it for a count of 5. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And bring it back in. And then we go once more into the same thing again. So push back till you can feel your shoulder blades squeeze right back here.
Yeah.
And really hold that. It's something you can do while driving. Come back in again. And now we're just going to rotate a little bit. Again, this is stuff you can do while driving, sitting on the couch, or even while you're working. You're going to just hold onto your chair and twist.
Oh yeah, it's a great lower back stretch there.
Yes, it is. I love this. So we do this a lot in yoga also, or post-workout stretching. On the other side again, we're going to go both sides. As many times as I do it, I still hear some cracking sounds in there. So it always works. And now we're going to try another rotation stretch, but this time you're going to have your hands on your head, just like so. And you're going to, again, rotate to one side.
It's great.
To the other side as well. Right? And just to get the blood flow in your arms, let's take your arms and extend it all the way up. And again, go to the side, to your right, and then off to your left. So you should feel something really, really good down the side there, plus again in your shoulder blades, and all of that leaning forward should get you set up to go again.
Thank you so much, Sister. I appreciate your time. I don't think I've ever stretched wearing a suit jacket, so it's a pleasure for me. I appreciate it. Thank you again, and we appreciate your time. We're going to move on to our next speaker right now. We're talking T10 cricket. It's the founder of T10 cricket. This is fantastic. I mentioned earlier on Australia, the best cricketing country in the world. I know that some of you are shaking your head and saying, absolutely not, Chris. But I've got to say it. I have to say it. Saji Ul Mulk is with us right now. Thank you so much for joining us. Cricket, what a sport we've got on our hands. Tell us more about it. The founding this as well, which is fantastic. T10 cricket is not a sport for everyone. I'm obsessed with it. I love it, but T10 is.
Hello, Chris. Hello, everybody. Yeah, this is Shadi Ul Mulk, like Chris has just introduced.
Oh, have we got? We may have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you now. There we go.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Hello, everybody. Once again. Now, you were asking me about T10, but then those of you who know cricket, the 10 overs is considered more of a format where, as you're growing up, whether it's in the streets or wherever, you must have experienced it. A short game of cricket, basically. People don't have the whole time, and then you want to play short. But then, having said that, I think the journey of the T10 itself started off during the World Cup football, when me and my son were actually watching one of the games, and we could sense that the connect of the crowd, the spectators, all the emotions passing through in that game were so uninterrupted, and you could feel that solid connect all the time. The sadness, the happiness, the excitement, everything going on non-stop, and the thought process started from there, saying that why can't cricket be like this? Because cricket, we have different formats of the game. It started off being a 5-day game initially. It still is one of the not very popular, but still very well solid foundation of Test cricket. And then moved, the attention span of the people started getting shorter, moved to a whole day. It's still 8 hours game. And then the latest craze, which has taken the cricket to the global heights, is actually the T20, which is still about 4.5 to 5 hours of a game, basically. Now, what we said was, let's make cricket equivalent to world sports of 90 minutes. We need to finish a world-class game in 90 minutes. And, that was the thought. As you well know, right? A lot of thoughts and a lot of ideas come on a daily basis, hundreds of them. But then to really see whether they are commercially feasible or the stakeholders who are involved in it would have the equal enthusiasm. And so we decided to kind of check the interest level. And luckily for us, during that time, the PSL was going on in the UAE, and we had some top international people like Chris Gale and Shahid Afridi. They were all here. So I got to meet them. And the first person was Chris. And then I floated the idea with them and said, look, Chris, I've got this wild idea in my head, making cricket a 90-minute sport. What do you think about it? And the reaction I still remember from Chris, the way it went. He went, hey, man, that's me. That's exactly what I've been waiting for. And, that is a game that I could really relate to. Then, then I said, okay, fine. Then I just said, here's your sign. You're my first brand ambassador for T10. And then 15 minutes later, it was Shahid Afridi sitting there, and then we had the same conversation, same question. I gave to Shahid, Shahid, what do you think? And Shahid's reaction was, well, this is what I do. I normally play 6 to 10 balls, and 10 overs is too long for me and perfect. And then we signed Shahid as well. And that's how the journey of the T10 started back in 2017. Still, I think the idea was still very fresh, unsure how the global sport will be taken. But we did decide to try a proof of concept and roll it as a 4-day event, but no corners cut. We signed about 60 of the top international cricketers, the best of the best in the world. Got Sony to sign as the television broadcaster, and rolled it just to see the interest level. It was done in Sharjah Stadium, and I remember a 4-day event. Come Sunday, it was a bit raining, so Sunday being a working day here, we had packed stadium. Not only packed, not only the stadium was packed, we had 10,000 people outside the stadium.
Amazing.
Yep. The paramilitary had to come in. The stadium was shut down. A headache and a problem, but a good problem to have. And that's how the T10 was launched, and the format by itself, those of people who have seen or experienced it, is a non-stop action, really. Because you've got the same 10 international players, they only have 60 balls to get a result and show. So the action is furious and non-stop. And then I think T10 has just gone strength to strength. Last year we signed with the Abu Dhabi government. This now Abu Dhabi government has backed it. We renamed the league as Abu Dhabi T10, and Al Dar Properties have come in as our top sponsors. And on a global level, I think starting from 35 million reach in 2017, we crossed 200 million last year in terms of the spectator viewing. So I suppose it's been an exciting journey, and that's how the T10 started, and there's still a long way to go. And that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. I think you guys, I mean, your thoughts is exactly where I am. Watching Test cricket and growing up in Australia, we used to watch it, but you'd zone in and out of it. And unless you're a real big cricketing fan, you can sit there and watch it. The one day has become more interesting, but to take it from a one day to a T10, that is, I mean, it's like watching a basketball match or a football match, right? The excitement, the adrenaline is there. It's non-stop. It's you can't look away. You can't go and grab a burger from the stand because you'll probably miss the action.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the whole idea, to engage the fans in such a way. And let's face it, I mean, the attention span of the people is getting shorter with each day.
Right.
And a lot of people, I think the most satisfying part for us is a lot of the international stars have come out openly and said that if the cricket is to go to Olympics one day, T10 is only, format practically possible, basically.
Well, we thank you for your time. Congratulations on obviously everything that you've achieved in your career, not just the cricket, but everything that you've done for the UAE and for everywhere else. And I think you're highly respected, and this T10 is just, I think it's the beginning. You've just planted the seed, and I think we're all going to watch it grow over the years. So congratulations, and thanks for chatting to us.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, everybody, for listening, and take care.
Appreciate your time once again, Shaji, founder of T10 Cricket. Amazing. I'm gonna watch this now. I want to get into this. Guys, we keep moving on. There's so much more to come as well. So thank you so much, no matter where you're watching this. My name is Chris Fade. Honoured to be here as we get sports back in action. COVID-19 has really settled it all, hasn't it? But where are we going to go from here? We're talking to the experts from around the UAE to really help us move forward in these times. Do we put the kids in sports right now? How do we get them in? Why do I put my kid in sports? Why? Why do we do it? What are academies mentioning around the UAE? What are they doing to help the situation? Let's go to it. Panel discussion number 4. Importance of sport for physical and mental well-being. I think this is such an important aspect. You'll see a question pop up on your screen right now, a poll. Does sport have a role to play with mental well-being? We'll get that up and running right now. Make sure you put a vote in. I'll say my 2 cents right now. 100%. I have promoted my anxiety that I used to suffer many years ago on my radio show on Virgin, and one of the ways that I beat my anxiety was getting out there and doing sport. It released those endorphins for me, and it just made me feel so much better. So I'm just answering this poll. Does sport have a role to play? 100%. To talk more about it, let's bring on our next guest, Paul. Movement and Me, the IPLA, Movement and Me is joining us. Paul Dodd, Sarah Mercer, UAE Special Olympics team and Absolute Gymnastics. Sarah, it's a pleasure to have you. Alex Collins, Nord Anglica School, fantastic school. And Savio Crasto, Professional Sports Academy. You're all experts in this. You all know more about it. Paul, I'm going to kick off with you. The importance of physical literacy. What does that mean? Physical literacy, Paul, what is it?
Well, fantastic. First of all, it was brilliant to hear Gareth start the whole conversation by mentioning it. And really the terminology came about really by looking at actually what the problem was. meaning that everybody realizes that physical activity is important, everybody knows the benefits that it does, and yet we are still becoming more physically inactive. More concerningly, the work particularly with Movement and Me that we're doing with the World Health Organization and the International Physical Literacy Association, really looking about what the problem is, which is 5 to 17-year-olds are dropping out, 70% drop out of organized sport by the time they reach 15. Okay, it's actually getting lower than that. So that's children who already enjoy physical activity and sport are dropping out due to the fact of it becoming an adult model superimposed onto children's activity and the fun enjoyment being lost, so they burn out. The other main concern there is that particularly we're becoming increasingly sedentary. Okay, we're not facing an obesity epidemic, we're facing a sedentary epidemic. We're becoming increasingly still and less movement. So what actually begins to happen within that, when we look at children in terms of, we're now seeing that 5 to 17-year-olds, only less than 20%, in fact in the UAE, the Healthy Active Kids report for the World Health Organization, 16% of children 5 to 17 meet the recommended amounts of 60-minute physical activity, which is a real concern. Linking that where physical literacy comes into that is really looking about, well, how do we begin to change that? And that really begins to say it's not just about the physical. It's not just about how physically able you are to do a skill and how competent you are. It's mentioning some of the things which was fantastic hearing Lisa say about before, because it really is, it's about significant events and significant others. It's the experience you have in physical activity, sport, movement, physical education. So really, I see it as almost like a 4-pillar, like a table. Physical competence is one, but motivation, the enjoyment of, the building of confidence, where we see that resilience and children's social emotional well-being is becoming an increasing concern. In fact, it's going to overtake mental health, overtake obesity by 2030, which we know. So really the work that needs to be done is when anybody, and the work that we do as Movement and Me, and we say we deliver consultancy, we develop programs such as Every Girl Can, we also provide advice and particularly training and support to coaches to say, and the simplest way of seeing it is if you watch an amazing coach, if you watch a brilliant teacher at work, they are developing somebody's physical.
We just lost Paul's audio. Did you guys lose Paul's audio then? Hold on, Paul. We've just. You guys all can hear Paul. Is everything there?
I'm here.
Here we go. Gotcha. Back again there, Paul.
Good. Yeah, so just as I was saying, so if you watch an amazing coach, an amazing PE teacher at work, they will enhance somebody's physical literacy, meaning they're making it enjoyable, they're building their confidence and self-esteem to enjoy, and as well, Gareth mentioned at the very beginning, to enjoy and take part in physical activity for life. It's not about just a gold medal. It's not about just being able to win. Yes, they are all parts, and healthy competition is fantastic. But when we look about lifelong engagement in physical activity and sport, we want to ensure that children are still enjoying physical activity when they're 30, 40, 50, 60. And there's an opportunity for that for everyone.
Yeah, really well said, mate. Thank you, Paul. That is so important. I think you hit the nail on the head again. I think it is so important just to get out there. Those stats are scary, man. 16% of people, kids between the ages of 5 and 17 are only meeting the world requirements of getting their exercise. That's some scary stuff right there. It'd be really good to say if anybody wants to check it out, that's on the World Health Organization Healthy Active Kids report. The Movement and Me are working directly with that report. So anybody interested in linking to us to help support, we can do. Movement and Me, Paul, appreciate it. We move on to Sarah, UAE Special Olympics team and absolute gymnastics. Sarah, thanks for taking the time here. We really appreciate it. What are the challenges? What have you learned from coaching kids, especially with disabilities? What are the challenges for you? What more do you need? What do we got to do as a community?
I think coming from a perspective of making sports for all, obviously a lot of my work is done either with high performance squads or with children of determination. I think you have to love what you do. If you speak about kids of determination, the biggest thing for me is the amount of love that they show to the sport that they're doing. I mean, they're all about the love. I'll give you a typical session that I do with the Special Olympic girls
is they probably spend the first 5 minutes hugging each other. And God forbid somebody comes late, all right, that 5-minute hugging process has to go again. They have such heart, and I think if you don't have heart in sports, it's not gonna work. You're not going to achieve. I mean, obviously we heard from Alina, and she's one of my students. Their work ethic, willing to just about overcome anything, and the passion there is what drives kids to succeed in sports. It's not something that we should be pushing them to do, but it has to come from them to want to be able to do it.
And also, you know, you talk about the children, the kids, it must affect the parents as well and the family members just to see that their kids are achieving these achievements. You know, they must resonate amongst the whole family, right?
I mean, their family has become my family now, because it's not just about the kids being involved. The whole family gets involved. I mean, if you talk from a parent's point of view, they take their time out to take the children to the sports. You know, they want their children to feel good about what they're doing. They want them to achieve and reach their goals. I mean, in sports, it teaches you life lessons as well. And, you know, this teaches you about dedication and motivation and hard work. You know, these attributes you will take on to other things you do for the rest of your life.
Totally. Thank you, Sarah. Really appreciate your time here as well. We'll move on with Alex. Alex Collins, Nord Anglica School. You get. I'm giving you the award for best dressed here today as well, mate. So thank you very much. We appreciate your time. We're talking badminton, a sport that it's funny during COVID time. Is that right? We've got badminton on the chat that we're talking about.
Not for me. I think that's for one of our other panelists.
Well, no. Let's get you to talk about it. You have no idea about it, but this would be fun. What else will start with you, Alex? What have you got for us?
Well, the question I had was, how can we ensure our kids get 60 minutes of physical activity a day? Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, let's roll that. I don't have that, but I'd like to hear that. Well, we just heard, but we did hear from Paul earlier on saying that only 16% of kids, supposedly between the ages of 5 and 17, are getting that 60 minutes in. I mean, how do we do it? You got to help us out right now, Alex.
Yeah, no, it is scary, and I think Paul and I are going to be doing some more work together. We met this morning, and yeah, he's brilliant at what he does. But I think what we have to realise that every family is different, every child is different. You've got sporty kids, you've got non-sporty kids, and everyone else in between. Some find it easy and enjoyable to participate in sport, but some find it really challenging as well. So you need to ask yourself, what does 60 minutes of activity look like in your home? Is that activity having a game of hide and seek? Is it going to the academy? Is it? So you've got to, as a parent, not put too much pressure on yourself and find out what do you want, which is best for your child. So you've got to do the best you can. Don't beat yourself up and just try and get them as active as possible. And with all these academies, I think more families are staying over the summer in the heat. It is a good time to use these academies, but obviously if you're going to be doing that every day, that's going to be a big expense. So you've got to come up with some new ideas of what you can do at home. So I said about the parent not beating themselves up, but on the flip side, you are the biggest role model to your child as well. So you've got to be seen to be active as well. The next big role model is the academies, is the coaches in the academies. You need that connection and familiarity with them to really get you inspired and motivated to do more sport. So at Nord Anglia, when it all started, when we first did online learning, I know a lot of schools went to just like, let's stick with the timetable PE lesson, but we felt that they needed more than that. The children they're missing out on playtime, lunchtime, break time, traveling from lesson, going up and down stairs. They're missing out on all these activities. So we try and do a live fitness session, and we also try and do some fun activities, pre-recorded, like obstacle courses around the house. And we were trying to encourage students to make exercise part of the daily routine, and you can do that however you want. I mean, I know my child has an alarm clock, and every time his alarm clock goes off every hour on the hour, he'll do 10 push-ups, which is the only way I can get him to motivate him. I can't do it myself. So yeah, daily routine is a great idea to try and get people active. You've got to make it fun, and you've got to try and make it novel. The brain enjoys novelty with the neurons and the connections. If you try something new, those neurons will connect. And then it's all part of the dopamine that comes in the brain, the feel-good factor if you try something new. So yes, do the stuff that you know, but always try and input some new activities just to make those brain connections as well.
Yeah, Alex, thank you, mate. That's spot on. Again, as a parent, it's hard to get the kids out. I like that push-up idea. I think I may try it on myself and the kids at the same time. I think that's very, very cool, man. Very good. We appreciate your time as well. And again, very great, a really cool reputation, Lord Anglican School as well, which has across the UAE. So everything that you guys are doing, well done. We'll move on to our fourth guest, Salvio Castro. Now, I'm guessing you know badminton. Would I be right by saying you know badminton? Is that right? We'll just unmute Salvio there. You're just muted. We'll
yep, there you go.
Salvio. All right, so here we go. Badminton. I just bought a set. Being COVID period, I'm online just trying to keep my kids occupied and entertained. I'm trying to find different sports. And I bought a badminton set for about 100 dirhams. I thought, you know what? We're playing this. How good is it?
It's a fantastic sport, but highly underrated. Just as a trivia, it's the second most popular sport in the world after football. Now, did you know that? It's also the fastest racket sport in the world. Apologies to all my tennis fans, including you, Chris. The fastest badminton smash recorded was 494 kilometers an hour. And that's with a feather shuttlecock.
Wow.
So there are lots of things about badminton people don't know. It's one of the most complete sports as well. It involves almost all the physical conditioning aspects that we look at in sport. Speed, strength, endurance, power, reaction time, agility, flexibility, coordination, and balance. Right? It's a non-contact sport, which is extremely important in these times of COVID-19, where we're looking at social distancing. In badminton, we're automatically socially distanced. So that's another important thing when you're coming back with an individual non-contact sport like badminton. Can be played for life, like we had our tennis colleague mentioning in your earlier panel, that you can play badminton right up into your 90s if you can hit the shuttlecock. There are challenges that we face as a sport overall, and it's also reflected in the UAE and in Dubai in particular. The sport has not got a mass grassroots movement, okay? And I don't know why that is. Maybe it's predominantly an Asian sport, but it can be played anywhere. It just takes two people to play. The Badminton World Federation recently also introduced a variation of the sport to make it more fun. It can be played on sand, it can be played on grass, outdoors. It's called air badminton. So they've developed a special shuttlecock which will, mitigate the wind factor and other things, so that you can play it outdoors with little effect of the wind, throwing that shuttlecock here and there. Yeah, so some of the other challenges we have, which I'm sure other sports would probably also agree with, is that we have a highly transient population here in the UAE. So there's a lack of continuity. People come in and go 2-3 years. You have a lot of, shifting of people around. Many nationalities, many cultures, which puts the starting point for any training program. It's a challenge because you have people coming in with different motivations. Okay, some come for fun, some come for fitness, but then each one's idea of fun is also different because they're coming from different backgrounds, different cultures, different nationalities. So there's those challenges that we need to address. A lot of learning has happened. The challenges for coaches who also come from different parts of the world and then have to deal with kids from different parts of the world, and all in that 1 hour session. So the expectation on coaches is high. Some of the things we've done during the COVID-19, which I'd like to share, is we immediately moved to an online program where the kids would actually follow a weekly session, which was initially coach driven. And then as the kids got used to it, it became player driven. So they would actually decide what they want to do that week. And then we use Microsoft Teams to allow the kids to interact with the coaches, upload their videos, share on chat, etc. And it was very successful. So we're going to continue that as we reopen and introduce a blended learning sort of method where we'll have an on-court session but we'll prep that on-court session with a online session with the kid before they come to the court. So hopefully with that combination, we'll be able to get more effective in spite of the regulations and the reduced capacity that we have to deal with this COVID-19 situation. The last thing I'd like to say is that we found that sports, in many parents' view, is considered as an ancillary activity. Every child must do some sport. You must get some physical activity, rather than looking at it as an integral part of the child's development. Okay, so we want to get that shift happening, and that's through education, online forums like this. So I'd like to thank Beyond Riyadh and Dubai Sports Council for this great opportunity.
Mate, Savio, you said it again. I think everyone's really just hitting the nail on the head, which means you're really getting that point across the right way. We appreciate your time as well. Please thank our guests once again, Paul, Sarah, Alex, Savio. We're getting some messages here as well coming through the Q&A, which we're reading. Sarah Mercer doing such amazing things. Thank you, Sarah. A lot of people are messaging me that as well. Thank you to all of our guests here this afternoon. We appreciate all of your time. I'll say goodbye to you guys, and I'll move over here right now. Listen, we're putting on such events and online forums like we're doing right now. Again, the reason why it's connecting a lot of us together, and as we just saw with Paul and Alex, I think they're going to connect. This is a platform where we can get together. We're all trying to achieve the same thing.
Celebration. I Paddy here from It's Just Football. Today I'm going to walk through a 15-minute football pitch circuit with you guys.
League Academy Online kicked off during the COVID-19 period, through which we have developed a comprehensive program to keep our players engaged, active, and to keep and maintain the team momentum. This has been an unprecedented challenging time for everyone, but especially for our youth players who have been isolated from their friends and the social aspects of their lives, which sports plays an important role in. We hope that with our online program, we haven't only been able to motivate our players to continue to be active, but also to provide them with a platform through which they have stayed connected with each other and with us.
The sessions actually always really looks forward to. So although we're in isolation and it's not the greatest of times, I wanted to say thank you very much on behalf of myself and George.
My training with Zoom classes, I will become a real football player. Thank you, Spanish.
Vale.
I'm in the 7, I'm gonna act up. I'ma need you to back up. I'ma need you to back up. Yep. I'ma need you to back up.
Hi everyone, this is Coach Manu with NBA Basketball School Dubai. We are launching this amazing online program where we're going to work on basketball skills, agility, stretching, and body weight workouts. So this is going to be a great opportunity for you guys to work on your skills right now at home, but also on your strength. Okay, so you can come back on the court and be solid and ready to go. Okay, so the sessions is going to be led by me. It's going to be great, fun, active, and very, very, very intense. So hurry up to sign up because places are limited, and I can't wait to see you guys.
The MBA's methodology and philosophy is really just taking our core values and our coaching curriculum to pass along to youth as well as basketball coaches to help grow the game around the world.
Boy, used to be bad, flashback, digital dash. He used to run with a gun and a mask.
When you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful.
Based on the situation worldwide, Aspire Gymnastics Dubai decided just before the COVID-19 pandemic hit the Gulf countries to start offering free online workouts for our gymnasts. In the first place, we wanted to prevent our gymnasts to lose their fitness and gymnastics skills, and additionally, we strongly believe working out not only keeps you physically fit, but also helps with staying fit mentally. We consider it very important for our gymnasts, especially during these challenging times, with limited movement and limited activities for our children, to get goals, to be challenged, to offer a social outlet, and stay in contact with our precious gymnasts by means of social media. On weekdays, we started to post daily workouts. The gymnasts enjoyed doing them individually or with their family members. Each Saturday, we hosted a free live gymnastics conditioning session on Instagram. And on Fridays, our rest day, we tried to keep our little ones amused with, for example, a brain teaser, a puzzle, a riddle, or a fun challenge. Since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, we also offer private Zoom sessions to work towards individual goals and to help our gymnasts maintaining their strength and interest in gymnastics. Recently, we have started to train our elite gymnasts above 12 years, and we cannot wait to welcome back the younger age groups as well.
6, slam it, 7, 8, 9.
Make sure you're slamming your pillow, guys, throwing it at the floor as hard as you can.
Perfect. 8,
player is probably Nathan Lyon, Gary, because I've actually met him before and he's a really great bloke, and he gave me lots of good advice about off spin and stuff like that. But I also really appreciate his mongrel and his determination on and off the field.
Hi, my name is Adway. I play for IGC under 15. I am a right-hand top-order batsman and a right-arm leg spinner.